Wow, boy, I tell you, it's been quite a ride, boy. If you don't know, now you know. There's a young brother out there named Dante London, like London Bridge, but it ain't falling down. He's rising up. Boy, he got to come up. He's coming up fast. And I'm telling you, I dropped on his brother's site, and he was just so energetic. He and his girl, they were in the kitchen, giving the spiel, telling how you got to come on, you can get this money, it's easy, YouTube is easy. YouTube is changing lives. That's what's happening. YouTube is changing lives, and I needed to change my life as well. I need to change everybody's life. We're in a new economy, y'all, and if you don't get it by now, you'll never know. If you don't know by now, you'll never know. Got to remember now, I'm old school, right? So this young brother is doing it, and he's doing it out of the box. And so if you can't beat him, join him. And he's asking people to come on and get on this train, this ride, this roll. Let's do what we got to do. Brothers going to work it out. Sisters going to work it out. People got to work it out. The economy is strange, but it's a new game in town. This is 2025. So I'm going to take his advice. I've been procrastinating for the longest, right? But this is one that I can't miss. I got to jump on board. We're in January. We go back to school tomorrow. I've taken a new position as an ISS instructor or coordinator. Was doing world history, teaching world history for 2 years prior to that. But, you know, downsizing in the school system, had to take a 43% cut, right? So, gonna make it up because I'm going into this last stretch. I got things I got to do. I got things I got to get done. And there's just no other way, right? So, that being said, you got to check out Dante London. Check him out. Subscribe. I subscribed the first time I saw him. The brother was so energetic off the chain. Also went back and looked at some of his previous videos, which also gave me inspiration because I was never fired, but I've been put in the mix before, right? You got supervisors that shouldn't be supervisors. They don't know how to deal with people, don't know how to talk to people, they don't know how to handle their relationships, right? They're not dictators, but, you know, everybody, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so, you know, I've been in a lot of positions, been around a lot of things, seen a lot of things, right? But you can't rely on the system, right? And YouTube is making it where the little fish can swim in the deep waters with the big boys, with the sharks, right? You got the power creators, but now it's time for the little creators to come on, and YouTube is doing its level best to promote us little guys. And so I even started up my YouTube page after years and years of procrastination, being advised by a homeboy way back when, telling me, hey man, you need to get on YouTube. And I just didn't want to have my face on YouTube, and I started this channel, The Value of Integrity, and wanted to go faceless. But after seeing this young brother London, got to get in, got to put your face in the game, right? Get your face in it. So that's what I'm doing. So tomorrow, we're going back to school. We got a 2-hour delay because we've got some snow falling around here, some frost warnings in the morning. We had some snow flurries today. And so there's a 2-hour delay in the morning going back. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to incorporate that work ethic and show you what I'm doing now and how I, use that to motivate young people. And YouTube is fascinating. I use it during lunch periods for the ISS to motivate, playing while they're eating, and during their lunch break, they get to listen to YouTube, right? Motivational speeches from the top ones, from the big boys, right? And so this is what it's going to be about in 2025, right? I'm going to go all in myself, do what I got to do, and play the game, right? So let's take a look at London. London is got a system he says he got going. He's figured out the algorithm, right? And so it's one of those things where you just got to get in there and try to do it, right? And so I'll just get in and do it and promote YouTube because I actually believe in YouTube, right? YouTube has great value. I've been using YouTube for many years now. Whenever I need to learn something, I fix the whole washing machine off YouTube, right? Bought the parts from Amazon, delivered them. I'm pretty good with my hands, tools, right? Fix this strictly by watching YouTube. A lot of things I do around the house, first I look at YouTube. I'm a visual learner, right? You'll learn that in the teacher should know. They're visual learners, and I'm a visual learner. Hands-on, that's the way to go. But this guy is going to make a difference, and he's getting subscribers left and right. I'm at 0. I got nada, right? I posted some videos that I have on my video, on my page, on my YouTube, and just never caught fire, right? So I'm starting from 0. And this is January, and we're going back to school tomorrow, and that'll be the first day of school, and I'll probably be incorporating a lot of what I do in that classroom with the ISS students and trying to get them motivated, because I can't just sit there and babysit them, right? And they can't just sit there and take naps all day, because we're not doing that. I can't do it. I'll be bored stiff. And so while we got them, they're a captive audience for sure. And since they can't control themselves in the classroom, I got news for them. You might as well stay in class, because this is not going to be a pass, right? So London is talking about life, subscribing, hashtags, subscribing. And this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to roll with it. Going to see what it do. Going to make it do what it do. And just go all in, right? Because I put it off long enough. 2025 is a reset. We got to reset, everybody. You got to reset now. Get in the game. Do what you're going to do, because everything is changing. It changes fast. You got AI. You got all kind of things going on. And this is part of what I get these kids to understand, that they don't really need you anymore, right? If you're not productive, if you don't have a talent, a skill, and are not motivated, there's no use for you. I mean, so education is key. You can't be in the classroom clowning, and thinking it's all fun, and then you find yourself, you're 21, 22, you got to go back because you dropped out of school or did whatever, and you don't have a high school diploma at least. You got no trade skills. We got to teach our youth more about what they got to get done. And so I've told a lot of the kids that, yeah, y'all need to get a YouTube channel. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. But guess what? Physician, heal thyself. I need to do what I tell them to do, right? And that's one of the things that I must do this year, because hypocrisy, I got this whole thing about being a hypocrite. I don't like telling people to do things that I'm not doing, right? And so I don't like to be phony, don't like to be fake. But, we're all hypocrites, like we're all sinners. So if you don't believe in God and you don't believe in sin, well, we all hypocrites. We can all be hypocrites, like we're all sinners, right? So, it's time to do this reset. Get in the game, do what you're supposed to do, make the moves you're supposed to make. I've lost some of the mojo, right? There are a lot of things I've done in the past. I've done a lot of things, done a lot of positive things, right? But I got to a stage where, I got kind of tired, got wore out, get frustrated, aggravated, unmotivated. But now you got to change up the game. You got to get back in it. Get back in it. It's fourth quarter for me, right? Get back in the game, right? Get to running the game. So I'll tell you, it's one of those things. Let me get some water here, because my throat's getting dry. But what London's putting down, and the amount of things that he's doing positive. I've seen this young brother. I also watched the video where they now have purchased a vehicle, right? This is what we have to do. This is leveling up. This is going up, leveling up to the point to where now you can make some other moves. And he's talking about expanding and doing some different things. You need some ground, some foundation, right? Some finances to come up, right? And so YouTube and this new age of media is absolutely the way to go. I've known it, but again, I've had experiences where, for some reason I didn't want to get in front of the camera. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do that, right? But now, why not, right? The game is we all got something to offer. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. I try to impart that to these young brothers and young ladies that come into ISS that can't seem to understand that they got to respect the teaching. They got to do their classwork, and they're not hurting anybody but themselves. And so, this young brother in London, I can follow and roll with this young brother. I've seen a lot of young inspirational people on YouTube. I've been watching it for a long time, and trying to see what's going on. And also, I've even signed up for my page or years ago, right? But never wanted to really get all in. But again, at some point, you got to quit playing. You know, you got to get in the game. You know, you can't sit around watching YouTube all day. It's entertaining, right? You're giving everybody else watch hours, right? So, but if you got something to offer, you need to get in. So you need to go check out London and see what he's got going on. Subscribe, because that's key. He's not selling you anything other than he's selling you motivation. He's selling you a path. He's selling you, you know, a route, right? Follow the leader. You know, I'm old school Rakim, follow the leader, right? So some of you all pick that up. Some of you young brothers won't, but hey, we can learn from each other, right? So pay attention to your elders. Some people giving you some good information. And don't resent young folks. I don't. I'm working with them every day. They can teach me something. I'm learning something every day. But I'm telling them, look, when I'm telling you something, I'm telling you something from experience. You need to pay attention. Right now, most people don't listen. Of course, they don't listen because at some point they decide they're going to, you know, do what they're going to do. And people going to have to get burned on their own. So if somebody's telling you this is the path, one of the points, Robert Frost, the path less traveled, right? And so everybody don't be, you know, they say the market's oversaturated. No, but hey, London's saying, look, they're pushing small creators, right? You're getting out there promoting YouTube. So don't be afraid. I'm going to do it. I got to do it. It ain't like, I don't know why I've been tripping all this time, but, you know, it was nothing but a thing to do it. But this seems to be the avenue to go right in, full in, rolling all the way, taking it to the next level. So this being January, I'm going to push it for the next 30 days for sure. I'm going to keep track. I'm going to get on this mission with him and the rest of you all. I advise you to get on board and do what we're going to do. And it's don't get no easier than basically, you know, with everything that comes work, right? We know that there's a process. But the point being is if you don't take that first step, then you don't get anywhere. You're going nowhere fast. And nobody owes you anything. This is one of the main things I tell the kids. Nobody owes you a job, first of all. So London, I checked out his video about a year ago where he got fired from his job and they did him dirty, he said. But he said they told him he took the time off and they told him there would be ramifications from that. But see, again, there's a way to do things. And so when you got people who, you know, they got the power, they got the juice, they want to flex, they want to do what they do, you know, they try to humiliate you. You know, I've been in a situation I'll go into a little later as I repost some of these things about work-life experiences. I had supervising, and I'll show you, it was miserable, right? My wife's been in a couple situations where she was in a high-ranking supervisor, but her manager just was dogging her. And then she found herself in another situation where she found herself in a school system where a principal was dogging her, you know. And so you got these people, and then they wind up being escorted out themselves. And so I usually tell people, look, yeah, they'll get theirs, right? And so same thing with me. I found myself in a situation with the supervisor that, you know, walked in and said, you're not doing your job. And I'm like, you just got here, you know. And I said a little more than that, but I didn't curse her out or anything like that. But this was a situation where a person, you know, either you don't know how to talk to people, you're not professional, and then you run to HR, and then you know, hollering and screaming that, you know, somehow I threatened you, you know. And so this is the problem we have, right? You got people, you know, who don't know how to conduct themselves, and absolute power corrupts, as I said earlier. And this is one of those things you got to face when you're dealing with working in a workspace, right? And so what they're doing right now here, they're teaching work skills, right? And or all the things you need, ability, accountability, in order to collaboration, empathy, all these things you need to understand in the workplace, right? And so they're preparing these students, trying to prepare them, and that's what I do in ISS a lot, is I try to reinforce what they don't have time at sometimes, you know, to teach them because they're acting up or acting out. And so when they wind up with me, they just get a real dose of what the system is really requiring for them to become graduates and be productive in society. I show them a lot of different things off YouTube. There's a lot of information there that I can use and that I do use, and I used constantly while I was actually in the classroom for 2 years teaching world history in high school level. Now I'm in the middle school, and these kids are right at that critical point of where they can go left or right. And I remember years ago I wrote a grant for a daycare, and I use a lot of data. And middle school is a very critical point in which we lose a lot of students because they either decide somehow they're grown enough, or they get put in a situation where they're kicked out of school, and then a lot of them have home life experiences that we know nothing about. And we try to do everything we can to come around and figure out what's going on with them, so they can, so we can kind of help them out. But there's a lot going on in the schools, and a lot of the teachers are catching a lot of the blowback. But students are being very disrespectful, right? And so a lot of what I do is, and I'll go into more depth with this, probably starting tomorrow when we get back to school, I'll start giving you all a brief update and outline on what it is that I'm doing in ISS to promote a more positive and redirect these students back into the classroom and showing more respect for their teachers who really there to help them and not there to hurt them. And if they would just show them the respect that they deserve and learn to keep their mouth shut and not have to keep going back and forth with somebody, you'll learn very quickly that will eliminate a lot of your problems, because you're trying to go word for word with an authority figure. And this rolls over into police and anything else. You're giving a direct order, right or wrong. There's a time and place to fight that at some point, and it's usually not on that spot at that moment. But don't you escalate the situation by being disrespectful, because now all you're going to do is you're going to ruin your case, or ruin your stance as to your position, whether you were right or wrong. Now you just stepped across the line, and now you made it another issue that now you're not going to win that battle. So this is what we're doing, and YouTube is a great opportunity and a great platform to get these things done and get these things out. And that's what I'm going to do now. I finally figured it out. I asked God to, let the Holy Spirit lead you. And this young brother, Dante London, and his young lady, they're really inspirational. They working hard. They're enthusiastic. They're very high energy, right? And you can see the compassion and the actual motivation that they have. And so this is all I expect and love in young people. And when I see young people doing that kind of activity, something positive, working, striving with goals, all of which we all need to do. And I've fallen short on many of my goals, right? And others I have accomplished. But I got to the point where I got a little tired, got a little worn out. And I think one of the major events that transitioned was that event I'm talking about happened a few years back with this supervisor, right? It was traumatic, and so the whole department suffered. And it's one of those things where, if management and doesn't get control of their leaders and not paying attention to them and just give them that free pass to just run ramshot, this is when you see those companies or these situations where people say under new management, because poor management will destroy any organization. And so it's important that, you figure that out. And this is what I'm trying to get these kids to understand. You're going to have people that you don't like, people who don't like you, but you still got to do a job. And if they allow you to do your job in a respectful manner, and or you do your job, they're paying you, you're trading your time, time for money, right? And that's the whole thing on the internet, right? Being an entrepreneur, right? Basically offering a service or product or whatever else. You're not trading your time for money anymore. You're now trading your values or what you offer. You have an offer to make to somebody to add value to their life, and people pay for that. But this guy London is not asking you for a dime. He's not asking you for anything. And so I'm going to follow his lead. This is more in line with what I want to do right now. You know, what, the other things will come later, you know, because it is about the dollar, right? And so the hustle's got to be the hustle and providing value. So with that being said, I hope to see you all down this road. I'm going to get on this train with London. I'm going to London, right? I'm going to London, right? Dante London, guys. Remember the name, right? 2025, this young brother's blown up. As a matter of fact, I did see the video. They got the truck. They got the vehicle that they were talking about, and they're riding. Yeah, this is it, right? Talking about real life, putting it in there. He did it. And so I'm going to follow. I'm going to run with this brother and see what's happening. And I'm going to take his lead, and I'm going to do what he said. I'm going to post, and it's about life. Hashtag life. Job, subscribe. This is the key. All right? Y'all have a good one.